What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome to another episode of Games y Mas, the podcast where we're talking about all things video games, board games, and pop culture. I'm your host, Vic, and today we're going to be talking about our top 5 board games of 2024. Depending on when you're listening to this episode, first of all, Happy New Year, and hopefully you had a good holiday. But we're going to be talking about a bit of our games that we've played in 2024. I know you've probably heard some podcast episodes or some YouTube videos of their tops of 2024 board games that they've played. So we thought we'd hop on that train and let you guys know what we've played, what I've played, what I've enjoyed, mostly what stuck out to me. Most of these games are not new. They've been around for a while, but it's been either A, it's my first time playing, or B, it's been a while since I played and I played them and I found new love for them again. So it's just going to be me and you today on this episode, and we're just going to be talking about our top 5 board games that to me that stuck out. I have a list generated, and it's going to be a fun episode to talk with you guys as well. First of all, I want to say thank you guys so much for those that have stuck with us coming into the new year of 2025. You guys have been awesome, and I appreciate you guys. And if this is your first time, welcome to our little humble podcast here. So I'm very excited to talk about all these games that we've played throughout the year of 2024. And let's get started here. So with all that being said, guys, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. Thank you again so much for joining us here on this new episode here for the starting off the year 2025. Again, I don't know when this episode is going to release, but hopefully you guys had a good new year. And I apologize again in advance if you see my cats running around or if you hear my cats running around. They're just little rambunctious little animals here. But we had a great new year. Played lots of board games, especially I think, in December and November time alone, I played more board games than I have in a while. Shout out to my boy Raul for teaching us these board games. And I'm very excited to go down this list of games. I generated 5 board games. I played a lot, but these are the top 5 that kind of stuck out to me. I don't think it's going to be a long episode, just a quick one, just to kind of get started with the new year, have some great content ahead of you guys. And again, thank you guys for that. Those that subscribed, that followed us on Instagram. You guys can find us on all socials on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys listen to your podcasts or watch videos. We're all on there at Games y Mas Pod, or if you want to send us an email, if you want to send us a question or some suggestions, you can also email us at gamesymustpod@gmail.com. That is gamesymustpod@gmail.com. And so, I just want to say thank you guys so much. We just hit 500 follows on Instagram. So celebration for that. I know it may not seem a lot but for me, it's I've been working hard to try to get, follows and I'm not doing this for fame or glory, but I'm just doing it to share my hobby. And so that the fact that you guys are following and watching our content and interacting with us, it means so much to us. And I'm so grateful and humbled, and thank you guys so much, especially to all the guests that have been on the pod. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been great. You guys provided so much life to the podcast. It's your guys' podcast as much as it is mine. So I'm very thankful for that. Let's go ahead and get started here with our top 5 board games that have stuck to me, that I played back in 2024. So what I try to do here is I've played so many. I played a lot of heavy-handed games, some easy-handed games. So what I try to do is I did 2 kind of beginnerish kind of games for those that are listening that don't know much about the board game world. These are some 2. I put 2 of these games on this list that are more friendly, beginner friendly-ish kind of a way to play. Something that's not too heavy complexity of level, and then the other 3 were more heavy-handed games for those of my intermediate or heavy board gamers that are listening that made the list here. And so we'll go ahead and get started here with this list here. Top 5, Vic's top 5 for 2024. Again, a little late, but better late than never on the whole top 5, top 20, top 10 trend that everyone that is doing that for board gaming. When I'm listing these games, I'm not ranking them like, 5th was my least favorite. Like, they're all equal. These are the top 5 that made the list that really stuck out to me. And so there's no like number 5 is not going to be like the least one of all of them. Like, they're all equal in my eyes, but I had to list them somehow, And so here we go. So number 5 is going to be a board game called Tactile. Shout out to my boy Joe at Friendly Bee Gaming. He created this game called Tactile, an abstract tile placement game. So much fun. I enjoyed playing so much. For those that have been listening to the podcast, we've had Joe a bunch of times on the pod. He's such a vibe. I love him, having him on. He brings such energy. He was the creator with him and Alex. Shout out to you, Alex, my boy. Of Widgets and Digits, another fun game that I would recommend playing. From also Friendly Bee Company. But Joe came out with his own game called Tactile, where you're just kind of placing tiles down and making simple moves. Simple game. It's very simple, easy to learn. Hard to master, a very difficult, a lot of strategy involved into it, but I enjoyed the game so much. We have an episode that we talked about abstract games with Joe, and he kind of showcased his game there as well. So go check out that episode. Very, very, very informative, very interesting, defining what is an abstract game, Even I think to right now, I still don't even know what an abstract game is, but Joe helped me out. Go check that episode out. But yeah, Tactile, shout out to you, Joe. That was such a fun game to play. It's on Kickstarter or GameFound. I'm backing them up. These guys are awesome. And this game is amazing. So whenever it comes out, you guys got to jump on this game. It's really fun, simple, easy to learn. Again, you're just placing tiles down, and the objective is to get your little piece over to the other side of your opponent's side. And you're playing cards to move in, but you also can play cards to mess up the other players. It's also a good team game. You can do 2v2, and it's very, very fun. Had a funny story about that one. We were sabotaged by you, Scott. Yes, I'm throwing shade. Beginning 2025 by throwing shade at you, my boy, for sabotaging my team by getting my other player incoherent and not of sound mind, if you guys can know what that means. He was drinking a little bit. He sabotaged my teammate, so my teammate couldn't focus as well, so I had to kind of carry the whole team. But again, I always do with Omar anyway, so Omar, you suck. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, Tactile, that's going to be number 5. Go check it out, guys. It's a fun game. Give love to Joe. Go follow them also on all socials. They're on Friendly Bee Gaming on Instagram and on YouTube and on TikTok as well. Go give them a follow. They have some great stuff coming down the line. And they're 2 games, again, Widgets and Digits and Tactile. I can't harp enough how much those games are so awesome to play. Widgets Digits is a big engine building game. If you're into those heavy engine building games, it's another fun one to play as well. So I would give that a whirl. So Tactile coming in at number 5. Number 4 is another game that's been around for a while. It's called Survive: Escape from Atlantis. Another easy-esque kind of game. It's a fun game where you have your little people, your little meeples that found the lost land of Atlantis, got his treasures, and now it's time to escape. But so is everyone else. All your other players are trying to escape, and so you're trying to get as many people out as you can before the island blows up, or you get eaten by sharks, or destroyed by whales, or by the Kraken. I call it the Kraken. I think it's called the Leviathan, or I forgot what the name was. The big ultimate sea dragon. And I've had this game for a while. I've played it a couple times, but a long time ago, and I hadn't enjoyed it. But recently, I got to play last year. Again, I could say that now. Last year, in 2024, I got to play with a couple of friends of ours, with Sierra, Marlisa, and Michaela. You gals were awesome. You guys enjoyed the game. They're kind of beginner board gamers as well, so they were able to pick it up, and they enjoyed the game. We played it twice. Marlisa got the win, I think, the second time around, because she was too nice in the first time around. She's like, no, I'm going in hardcore. And she did. She was out for blood, and so she ended up winning it. But it's a fun game, easy to learn. All you got to do is just move your peoples, and you got some cards you can play. But the objective is very simple. Just get your people out to the islands, and that's it, and avoid whales and sharks and all these other sea creatures. Fun game to play again. Another easy beginner game to check out. And all these games that I'll be listing, I'll be putting links below where you can find them if you want to give them a whirl, give them a try. You can find them also on Tabletop Simulator, maybe even Board Game Arena. And so, yeah, I would go check those games out. But if you're interested in getting us a new board game, I'll leave a link as well so you can go purchase a game and help me out because it's an affiliate link. So, hey. Survive, Escape from Atlantis. Another fun one to go check out. Give it a whirl. And let me know if you play any of these games. Let me know if you enjoyed any of these games as well. Or if you're looking for a new team member to join on your game nights, hit me up. I'm also on Board Game Arena. I'll leave a link below, or I'll leave my username below on the description. If you guys are interested in joining up with Board Game Arena. If you don't know what Board Game Arena is, well, you're missing out. Go Google it, and it's for those board gamers. It's a fun thing. We've had shout out to Operation Game Night. You guys, Travis, Clay, and Jared, you guys are awesome. You introduced me to Board Game Arena. I never heard of it before until they told me, and now my whole world's been changed. So it's another fun way to play online board games with players from all around the world, where you don't have to play live. You can play asynchronous, where you can just take turns, and you got to wait each other's turns. You can take a day or two and take your turns. You don't have to be there live in person, which is pretty awesome, especially with some of our hectic, busy schedules and stuff. So yeah, a little tangent there on Board Game Arena. But yeah, Survive, Escape from Atlantis is number 4 coming in here. Okay, these next 3 games are going to be more of the heavy-handed games. More of a, this is not towards the crowd of the intermediate, more heavy-esque board game group that I'm talking to you guys as well, that maybe you've not heard of these games. You probably have if you're a heavy board gamer. But this made my list, and I really enjoyed playing these games. And these are games that I've been wanting to play for a while, too. So whenever I got my hand on these games to play and I got taught these games, I had a fun time learning. Number 3 is going to be Arcs. Arcs is from the same creators of the people that made Root. And we also had an episode again of Root where Joe again was telling us more, explaining about what Root is, what that's his favorite top board game of all. It's a fun game, not an easy game to learn, so it's a game that I would recommend having someone teach you, or maybe play the digital version to help you out play that game. But it's a very fun game to play. But these guys came out with another game called Arcs, which is more space theme. And if you guys know me, I love me a good space theme board game or video game as well. Shout out to Twilight Imperium, or I've been really digging Starbound. I know Starbound's kind of gotten abandoned, but I really like that space kind of theme-esque of video game. But Arcs is a space game where you're building your fleet, trying to take over, get these objectives. Very conflict-heavy game. I didn't expect it to be that very conflict-heavy. I thought it was a game where I could kind of sneak by with just owning all these planets, and but you have to battle. You have to battle in this game, other players, and it's a very it's a game where it's like, if you earn these like certain like power-ups or stuff like that, like, oh, I worked hard on these power-ups, some guy can come in and be like, oh, that's a nice power-up. Now it belongs to me, and you take it, and you get screwed over. Now you're all pissed, and now you're trying to get revenge and blood, and it becomes this whole big bloodbath of fighting starships everywhere, and big battles going everywhere, and it was fun. I enjoyed the game very much. It was fun. Honestly, I thought it'd be a little bit more complex. Coming from Root, because Root is a very complex game where it's very asynchronous, where it's very hard to teach the game because each of your factions do its own thing, so you can't really like tell your opponent what to do, because their faction is different. And so I thought it'd be kind of like that with Arcs, but it's actually very simple. Just play a card. If it matches the suit or whatever, I'm forgetting the terminology, but if it matches it, you can do multiple actions. If not, you can only do one action off of those, and then you move on. You can just keep playing. I thought it'd be more complex, where like you do these things. If you play this, you got to play this action. So I was very, very pleased with the game. It was fun. It is a bit hard. It is a bit of a learn, because you kind of have to figure out what you're doing, how to strategize it. It could be said with all board games. But this game, it was so much fun. Simple mechanics to learn, but it is very, very difficult. And we also did play it with like the vanilla mode, as I like to say it, where we didn't have the leaders. The leaders add more of the asynchronous, where like now your own faction has its own abilities that you can use compared to everyone else's. So I really like that, how that it incorporated it. We're like, if this is your first time playing, try this mode before you get into this mode. And so it was fun. We played that one. I'm excited. I really want to play with the leaders now to see how it plays out. But yeah, Arcs, fun game to play. So that was number 3. Let's move on to number 2, is going to be Sleeping Gods. I think it's to my side right here, if you guys can see it. Sleeping Gods. Another fun game that I've always seen at my local board game shop. Shout out to you guys, Geeky Tees. I'm doing like shout outs. This episode should just be all about shout outs, because I'm just shouting out everybody. But yeah, Geeky Tees, you guys are awesome. But every time I walk into that store, I always see Sleeping Gods. I've heard great things about it. And I just kept passing by and thinking, I'll buy it next time. Finally made the plunge, bought the game. And I was able to play with my monthly board game group that I like to meet up with once a month whenever we can. But we got to try out Sleeping Gods, and man, that game is so much fun. It's a little bit more heavier game. Not too heavy-ish. A beginner board game can kind of understand, but might be overwhelmed with all the things that you can happen. But it's a very story-driven game. And again, if you know me, I love story-driven games, immersive games, more rather than abstract games. I'll play any board game, but if it's like a story where you have to dive yourself into this world and kind of RPG a little bit, I'm all aboard for it. And Sleeping Gods is a fun game where you're taking charge of this ship called the Manticore, and you're going down through these islands. The Sleeping Gods have been awaking, or they're trying to wake up. I don't know. I haven't gotten far in the story, but we've been playing it, and it's like the mechanics are very interesting. Combat's very interesting. How you play it out, how you take on these roles of these crew members of the ship. and you're moving the ship around. The map is very interesting because it's a booklet, so you're literally moving the ship around the booklet, and then when you go off the page, you just flip the page to where the next section of the map is, and you move around. So very sandboxy game. I love sandbox games. It's a very interesting game to play. Unfortunately, I only got to play it like once. I think once or twice, but it made such an impact on me of playing it that I really want to play it again. So. Yeah, so my board game group, let's get on. Let's play it again. I really enjoyed it. The story is very immersive. It's a very hard game too. Like I think either we went to an area that we were not supposed to because we were struggling. We were struggling big time on that, and yeah, it was very hard. I think maybe went to the hardest sections of the map if there is. But yeah, we started making some choices that were like, maybe we should have got to maybe the other way. But very curious to see how the story pans out. Your actions carry over, and yeah, it's very interesting. And then the roles, you get to like be part of this crew. The crew members you take on, you can like get their backstory, and then like even in the story, like each of the characters have like contribute to the story where it's like, oh, if you're this character, this story pertains to you and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, very story driven. Again, I keep saying story driven, but I love it. So yeah, Sleeping Gods is number 2 here. Before we get to number 1, let's go and throw in some honorable mentions. The first one is Unfathomable. That's another game that's been out for a while, and it's a game that I've been wanting to play for a long time. I always see the box every time I go to Geeky Tees or a board game shop, and I'm like, oh, I want to play this game. Never had the chance, but I was able to play it thanks to, again, Raul. Thanks for showing me this game. We were able to play it on Tabletop Simulator, and man, that game was so much fun. I love hidden trader mechanic games. So that's why I really love Betrayal, House on the Hill. But Unfathomable was, again, kind of like that, where one of us is like the hybrid and trying to like summon Cthulhu or summon like this cult and on board the ship while everyone else is trying to fight off these beasts and figure out what's happening. So that was a fun one to play. The Lord of the Rings, Journeys of Middle-earth, I think it's on my side here. Another fun game that I started with my monthly board gaming group. It's fun, story-driven game as well in the set of the Lord of the Rings, and I love Lord of the Rings. And so it was a fun game. I like how it incorporates an app to guide you through it. Kind of like it acts like a DM a little bit, but your actions, you dictate what your actions are doing. You input it in the app, and then it'll tell you what happens next. It's cool. My only gripe with that game, though, is that the story is awesome, but there's like no real consequence, to be honest, in this game, where like if you fail a mission, you just continue on with the story. Like it's just like, oh, you didn't do this, okay, well, we'll continue on. Or it's like there's no real like, oh, we fail, oh, we have to start over, or we lose this. And it was yeah, that's my only gripe about it, because like there've been a couple times where I don't think we've only passed like once or twice a session, and the other times we failed, we just carried on. I thought it'd be like, oh, we have to start over again next time. No, we just carried on. So I was like, oh, okay, well, there's no real sense of a challenge. I mean, there is a challenging game, but it's not like, oh, if we lose, we're going to lose all this. And it's like, if we lose, okay, we just lost the person we're looking for. We just keep going. I don't know, maybe I'll play it later on, but I still enjoy it. It's still a fun game. I love how the tile placement are for the map and how it's laid out. Kind of get confusing a little bit when the app is telling you where to place things, but it's a fun game. If you like Lord of the Rings, if you like immersive storytelling, go check that one out as well from Journeys of Middle-earth. Another one is Arkham Horror, the card game. I've had this game for a while, and I've played by myself 1 or 2 times, and I'm like, I love this game, but I wish I had more people to play with this session. It's kind of hard to play living card games because a lot of people are, I mean, it's a deck builder, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess I haven't had the right crowd. But again, shout out to my boy Raul. He went on this journey with me of Arkham Horror. We finished the introductory, the Night of the Zealot campaign introductory, and it was fun. I had a good time. It was very hard. I think we were playing it on standard, and like, yeah, we were struggling. I think we ended up like resigning from the mission, and it still carries over. You still can carry on, but like there's consequences now of carrying on over, which is, I guess, I wish Lord of the Rings did, but Arkham Horror does a perfect job with that. Where it's like, if you did this resolution happened, then you're taking this amount of trauma, which will affect you in further games to play. And so it was very fun. We finished the Night of Zealot. Now we're at the Dunwich Legacy, and I'm having a blast playing that one. You're building your deck, your characters. Each mission, you can spend points to upgrade your deck and then to take on tougher challenges. But it's been very fun playing, and we made it. We set the difficulty to easy on this one because standard was kicking our butts a lot. So. Arkham Horror, another good shout out of honorable mention here. Another one, which kind of ties in with my number 1 pick, but Dwellings of Eldervale, another fun game that really blew me out of the water. That was a fun game that Raul taught us, me and my friends. That game where it's man, I don't even know how to explain this game. This game has like almost everything, like worker placement, build, maybe a little bit of engine building, but also like area control. It's a fun game where you're taking on this faction, and you're just trying to take over, build these dwellings everywhere. But you also have to deal with like the board game, where the game is trying to sending out at these bosses that are attacking you. But you also have to worry about the other players. So there's like so much stuff going on. It's just chaos, but I love it. It's such a fun game, where it made me think. And I think what impressed me the most about this game was that there's no like actual like, I mean, there's turn orders, but there's no like phases, I guess you would say, where it's like once you finish your turn, you move on to the next guy, move on to the next person, and when it comes back to you, you just keep going. We just keep playing the game. We just keep going. No, there's no after everyone's gone, set up this, now set the board up to this, to do this. It's just like we just keep going. We just keep going. And I thought that was such a brilliant move. And then even the way the pieces are, how they're set up, and how they're connected like little Legos whenever you build dwellings. I think it was pretty cool. So Dwellings of Eldervale, which now brings us to my number one pick, which is the same creators of Dwellings of Eldervale, and they made a game called Andromeda's Edge. Oh my gosh, this game was so much fun. When I was creating this list and wanting to play games, there was Arcs and Andromeda's Edge that I've been wanting to play. Two sci-fi games. And I played Andromeda's Edge. I was blown out of the water. Played Arcs, and I had a fun time. But Andromeda's Edge just had my heart, man, because that game's so much fun. Same thing, same creators of Dwellings of Eldervale, but man, this game's such a fun game. It takes same concepts of playing, where it's like kind of worker placement and area control, but now it's in space. But now it's like different actions. There are a bit more rules, so this game is a little bit more rules heavy-esque. There's more things to do, but I just enjoy it. I think it's such a fun game. If you played Dwellings of Eldervale and haven't played Andromeda's Edge, like you'll pick this game up real quick. It's a fun game to play. And yeah, again, just the turn order is just like you just keep going until you meet certain conditions of the game, and the game ends. And you're fighting space pirates, and you're fighting all these bosses, and it's just so much fun. You're building your citadels, or I forgot what it is, but you're connecting the pieces as well. It's man, I had an absolute blast. My only gripe was like the ships. Your ships kind of look like little fidget spinners. They're like the little triangle fidget spinners. I'm like, are these your ships? They look like more like space stations, or so. Man, you could get maybe like a different design going. But other than that, like this game was amazing. It's such a fun game. Maybe we might have to do a top shelf yard sale game on this one, or with this whole list as well. Which again, another segment that you guys should check out, which I've been having such a blast doing. But yeah, that's my number one, Andromeda's Edge. So my top five are Tactile, Survive, Escape from Atlantis, Arcs, Sleeping Gods, and Andromeda's Edge. All great games that stuck out to me back in 2024. I'm very excited for 2025 to see more games. I started logging my board games now. I didn't know you could do that. I'm still kind of beginner intermediate-ish when it comes to board games. I saw a lot of people on Instagram, shout out to you guys, that have been posting your recap of your 2024 games that you've played and your statistics. And I was like, dude, why haven't I not been doing that? So now I'm going to start doing that, guys. And so I think, at the end of 2025, we'll show you guys our stats of our games that we've played. I mean, we just barely started 2025, so I'm already here talking about the end of 2025. But I'm very excited, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening here. We'll wrap it up here. Not a long episode. Again, it's very short, maybe 20, 30-minute episode. Again, take a moment here to just thank you guys again for so much for listening to us, for subscribing, for commenting. We got some fun content coming your way, some more guests, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. See, continue on this journey of board gaming and video games, and talking some pop culture. I know we've been talking more about board games because that's my love. We'll talk more video games. We got some video games content coming your way, some pop culture stuff coming your way as well. But yeah, I wanted to take a minute and thank you guys so much for listening to us. It means a lot, so much. Your comments and your suggestions. We're still doing questions, so if you guys want to ask us any questions, go ahead and comment on all our socials. You can send us a DM on Instagram, send us on TikTok as well. Send us an email at gamesymustpod@gmail.com. That is gamesymustpod@gmail.com. So go ahead and send us a question if you guys want us to answer a question for you guys. That's board game related, video game, pop culture related, or if you have a question for a certain guest that you'd like to have us ask, we'll leave that open to you guys so you guys can answer that question. So that wraps it up here for this episode. That was my top five, guys. Let us know what your top five were for 2024 for any of you guys that have played games. I'm very curious to hear, or if you have any suggestions that I should try out, please leave a comment below. Let us know, and I'll gladly like to try out these games that you guys want to suggest for us, and maybe even make an episode out of it. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and can't wait to see you guys in the future for more episodes. And yeah, love you guys y nos vemos para la próxima.